Hello everyone, I am Click Coder and I am doing a review of all the teams in this IPL season. And in this video, I am doing a review of GT. So GT finished at the second position in the points table. They didn't have a good start, losing the first two games, but then in the next match, they won a game against DC, which they had almost lost as DC needed 2 from 2, but David Miller didn't take the single and gave GT an opportunity to win the match. After that, they won two of the next four matches and then they won the next five matches to reach the top of the table. They started the season from the seventh position and slowly kept climbing up the table to reach the fourth position. But again, after losing two matches, they fell back to the seventh position. Then they won five consecutive matches to reach to the top of the table, and at the end, they finished at the second position. Then in the playoffs, they lost the qualifier 1 to RCB, then won the eliminator against RR, but then again lost the final to RCB. So in the squad, they had a total of 27 players, including 8 overseas players and 11 uncapped players. Two of the players, Tom Benton and Prithvi Raj, were ruled out of the tournament, and they brought in Connor Esterhuizen and Kulwant Kejrolia as the replacement players. Now going to the playing 11. So in the playing 11, they used a total of 19 players, which included 5 overseas players. So 8 players from the entire squad didn't get an opportunity to play in this season. They made just 13 changes in the playing 11 throughout the IPL, and 4 times they played with the same team. So with these numbers, you can see that they had a settled combination in their playing 11. So these are the main players which made the playing 11 for them. And apart from this, there were 4 other players who played some matches for them like Kumar Kushagra, Sai Kishore, Manav Suthar and Kulwant Kejrolia. They had 6 players in the squad who played all the matches and 2 players missed just one match. So they opened with Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill, and Josh Butler came in at number 3. In one of the match, Kumar Kushagra opened for them in place of Shubman Gill who was injured. Then in the starting matches, they had Washington Sundar, Glenn Phillips, Rahul Tewatia, and Shahrukh Khan in the middle order. But after some matches, they dropped Shahrukh Khan and Glenn Phillips, and they brought in Nishan Sindhu and Jason Holder. Then in the bowling, Rashid Khan, Kagiso Rabada, and Mohammad Siraj played all the matches. And in the remaining two positions, they went with other bowlers like Arshad Khan, Ashok Sharma, Prasidh Krishna, Sai Kishore, Manav Suthar, and Kulwant Kejrolia. Now, looking at the season, GT didn't start well, losing the first two games, but the game against DC changed their fortunes as they won a match which they shouldn't have won, as David Miller was not able to finish the game for DC. Then again, they had a streak of 5 wins against the top 4 sides at that stage to reach the top of the table. They put in a solid performance in those matches because it is very difficult to win 5 matches in a row, but they won 4 of the matches against the top 4 teams at that stage. They won 9 matches in total with 5 home wins and 4 away wins to finish at the second position. In the playoffs, they struggled against RCB in both qualifier 1 and the final to end up as the runner-up. So GT had a different strategy compared to other teams in batting as they tried to keep one of the top 3 to bat till the 15th over. And they have succeeded with this strategy in the IPL. They don't go hard at the start and try to keep wickets in hand, and this season also their top 3 were among the highest run scorers for them. Their middle order is not that strong and it got exposed in the playoffs against RCB where they lost their top 3 early and ended up losing those matches. So their winning chances are higher when the top 3 performs and it comes down if they fail. Their bowling was very strong this season and it was the strongest bowling lineup among all the team. Overall, as a team, they played very well to reach the finals with this kind of strategy. They are a very successful side with the strategy as last year also they made it to the playoffs with the same strategy. If they manage to strengthen their middle order, then they can become a very dangerous team. So the player that impressed me most from GT was Washington Sundar. The top 3 are the backbone of GT and every season they score a lot of runs, but apart from them, Sundar impressed me a lot. He had a very good season with the bat and he kind of helped GT to solve their middle order issues in this season. After the top 3, Sundar had the next highest runs and he also scored at a good strike rate. Yeah, he didn't bowl that much because he was not needed to bowl, but his batting was very solid. The player that disappointed me the most was Glenn Phillips, as he started in the initial games, but he had a very poor season. I expected a lot from him with the bat, as he is a very good player, but this season was very poor for him. He did well with his fielding, but GT needed him to score runs with the bat in order to solve their middle order problems. He was then dropped from the playing 11, and GT brought in Holder, who did a good job for the team with the ball. Now, going to the batting stats. So, as always, the top three lead the highest run scorer list with Shubman Gill scoring 732 runs, Sai Sudarshan with 722 runs, and Josh Butler with 526 runs. And then Washington Sundar and Rahul Tewatia followed them. Then, in the highest scores for them this season, so Shubman Gill topped the list with the highest score of 104, and then Sai Sudarshan was second on the list with 100. Then in highest strike rate list for GT, Arshad Khan topped the list, but he faced just 11 balls. And the next highest was Shubman Gill with 163, and Sai Sudarshan and Josh Butler followed him. Then in the hundreds list, you can see Shubman Gill topped the list again with 100, and Sai Sudarshan also scored a century in this season. Then in the most 50s, Sai Sudarshan topped the list with 8 50s, followed by Shubman Gill with 6 and Josh Butler with 4. Then in the most fours, Sai Sudarshan again topped the list with 75 fours, with Shubman Gill following him with 74 boundaries. Then in the most sixes, Shubman Gill topped the list here with 33 sixes, and Sai Sudarshan followed him with 30 sixes. So Shubman Gill was the top performer with the bat for GT, and Sai Sudarshan also performed very well, and both of them were the backbone of the GT batting lineup. Then team-wise, their lowest score of the season was 100 for the loss of 10 wickets against MI in Ahmedabad. And the highest score this season was 229 for 4, which they scored twice, once against RR at Jaipur and another time against CSK at Ahmedabad. Now looking at the bowling stats. So Kagiso Rabada was the highest wicket taker for GT in this season, and he was also the purple cap holder for this season. Then he was followed by Rashid Khan with 21 wickets and Mohammad Siraj with 19 wickets. Then in the fourth position, there was Jason Holder with 17 wickets, and Prasidh Krishna was on fifth position with 16 wickets. Then the best bowling performance for GT came from Jason Holder, which was 4 for 24, and Prasidh Krishna was second on the list with 4 for 28. Then the best economy was of Jason Holder of 7.57, followed by Mohammad Siraj and Rashid Khan. Then they had 3 4-wicket hauls, one each by Rashid Khan, Jason Holder, and Prasidh Krishna. Then in the most dot balls bowled for GT, Kagiso Rabada and Mohammad Siraj both topped the list with 172 dot balls. So Kagiso Rabada was the top performer with the ball, and Siraj also bowled very well. They both formed the backbone of the GT bowling lineup. Team-wise, GT's best bowling performance was of 10 for 86 against SRH at Ahmedabad. So that's it in this video, and let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.